Live. We are live. Welcome to Spirit Trade. This is Jameson. I'm about to show you another day in trading live. And it is Friday, October the 25th. Boom. I can read dates. Hell yeah. So let's see. What happened yesterday was there was a decent amount of movement, but here, okay. Okie dokes. Decent amount of movement, and let's get this popping. Right? There we go. Decent amount of movement. It surged down pretty hard, and so we didn't really get, obviously there was no dragon dive up, no train overnight. And this moved down so hard, there was no entry short. Let's see. So that was this bad boy here. And then around here, it moved to the upside, but then the pullbacks to the upside failed because it was a strong move up, but that was really just a pullback from this strong move down. And so we got juked again. It came down. I ended up actually making a little bit of money this day just because I stayed out of most of this day. I didn't stream yesterday because I didn't sleep very well the night before. And so usually if I don't get proper sleep, I will just not participate as much in trading. And I missed all of this, which was good because there was no setup there. And then I jumped in and out of this. And then this happened. I just let it rip down. It closed down. And then there was a little bit of a setup here. And I got in and out, and I just, at that point, it was the third kind of turn. So, and that's not really in my system. And at that point, I was just not feeling everything that was going on. It just felt so misaligned. I just didn't even participate in that, got out, and then, yeah, so that was the day. Interesting. I realized, though, that I have a lot of hesitation when it comes to trading this, oversold or overbought. I always mix that up. But as soon as it goes overbought, I realized I don't have a clear way of entering into the market. So what I added was this simple moving average. It's a 3-period simple moving average. And so what's going to happen, for example, on this, what would happen is once this thing goes over overbought, then I start putting in my stop entry order to go short around this line. And so then as soon as it comes in and comes up here and taps around here, somewhere around here, I'm going to get in. So it'll get me in at a good spot. But if it does keep blasting up, I won't participate in that. It's really just once it comes back through and taps into the line, and then I'll get in from there. So that's the technique I'm using just for the dragon dives, what's the other two? The final high wind and the hyper jump. For the other two setups, the train, I use the 1/3 rule with the pullbacks, and then for the pump, I upgraded my understanding with the pump a little bit as well, because it was tricky getting into this pump, and I had a hard time with this. And so the rule number 1, note without a shadow of a doubt, is waiting for price to touch this, the Obos line, after it totally clears it, and then this bar comes in and taps through it. Now, here's the thing is, when it came through, it just blasted through this line, so because this moved fast. So what we have to do is trail a stop entry, and kind of this is as good as I've got right now, is to estimate, like, if price is down here and the RSI is down here, kind of have to estimate the entry with where that matches up when price touches this line. And so you'll just kind of trail it in, and it's okay to have it be rough. This is not surgery. It doesn't have to be, precise. They're not going to lose the patient because we were off by a few ticks or whatever. The main thing, because the pump, this is such a high probability trade, to be honest. Like, when you execute it properly, I was not executing this properly, but when you execute this properly, when you actually wait for price to actually come to clear this and come back and touch this, that is a major signal to get in, and that's the one I'm always gunning for. And that's why I was so excited to trade this. And now I'll just trail in the stop entry and kind of estimate where that would be in terms of the crossing point. And if you're off by a little bit or whatever, I'm not going to beat myself up over it. I'm just going to be like, you know what, that's just part of the game I'm playing right now with this. I don't have an more exact way of measuring that. So yeah, that's that. So today we had Tokyo was kind of mixed. Looks like the London Open is a little bit down. You could say it has a downwardish trend. Here's the thing. If we look at the big picture, man, we've been in such a choppy zone here. It's been a hard week trading, honestly. This is not easy for my system. This is fucking hard. All of this shit here was mind-blowing for my system. But I was still nailing it in, and now I'm dialing in the execution, which is good, This is a good week to learn about execution, that's for sure. Definitely not a good week to gain profits, but a good execution week. And what's interesting is you've got to have a system that kills it when this is happening. When you've got big ass moves like this, it's got to fucking slay. But when it goes like this, it's still got to fucking hold strong as a beast. And honestly, trading my system appropriately in this shitty week, actually would have yielded around $600 or $700 on one contract. So to make that money on a crappy week is phenomenal. I'm actually still up this week, actually, despite this whole learning process, right? Because I killed it on Monday. Tuesday I stayed out. And then Wednesday I totally fumbled like crazy, so I almost lost all my gains for Monday. And then yesterday I made a tiny bit of money, just kind of not really participating. And we'll see what today holds. I am leaning towards, should we do a train? I don't know how I feel about trains, but I feel like, okay, if it trains, then we don't have much downside. The limit here is pretty low. So, and if we did do a train, let's see, where would that be? It would have to be here with this. It would have to be an entry. Oh, we'd have to keep following this. Actually, I like to do it this way. Should we try a train? Should we? I don't know. I don't know, man. I think for this week, how crappy it's been, and we had a train on Monday, but it didn't turn out very well. And due to the floppy nature of this, my feeling is no train. So I'm going to do no train today. Yeah, it's a no for me. That being said, I'll be looking at doing especially since my feeling is this been coming down? It came down, tap, 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 up, down, and now it's like tap, tap, right? So there's a bit of a tap, tap, like Happy Gilmore going on here. Actually, this is like the tap, tap, and then when the market opens, it's just going to go ape shit like Happy. That's going to be more like Happy Gilmore. You're gonna die, clown! All right, 1 minute. We got 1 minute to open. Again, I didn't get good sleep last night or the night before, and then tonight I got a little bit of a limited sleep, so I'm a little bit loopy. So I'm just hoping we get some sort of badass. I don't know what we're gonna get today. Also, let's put in this bad boy, 48.8. All right. So the other thing is we can dragon dive. Three, two, one. Oh, dang. Look at that. I wonder if we'll get a pump. Woo! That's a strong bar. It closed at its extreme. That's a decent bar.
Order filled.
Yeah, I'm taking this as a dragon dive.
Order filled.
Okay. I feel like it's a little bit crazy right now. I felt some strength to the upside, so I'm just going to let it do its thing, get out of its way. Yep, we're definitely getting that strength. It's not a... Ooh, this is very mixed. Yeah.
Order filled.
All right. I'm having a lot of mixed feelings about this open.
Order filled.
Yeah, it's just so all over the place. I'm not feeling a trust in this at all right now, so I'm just going to let it sort itself out a bit. Sometimes the open can be very clear about its intentions, and that's what you want to look for, but it's really mixed like this. It's better to stay out of a mixed conviction market. Absolutely. If it doesn't feel good, don't participate.
Order filled.
Uh,
Order filled.
I don't know. That actually might have been a good entry. Now that I think about it. It's been struggling to the top side here. We've been able to get some air. Okay. Let this thing do its thing. Let it push higher. There it goes higher. Yep, definitely not a phantom train, definitely not a pump.
Order filled. Order filled.
4. I'm like so back and forth on this. I'm just like, I don't know what to believe.
Order filled. Maybe give it 2 points. There's a lot of back and forth on this. But this could just burst up to the top side, really. There's a lot of play to the top side.
I think part of me feels like ultimately this will turn down. There's just too much resistance to the top side for this to hold. Yeah, I just don't want to put too much effort on this guy. I'd rather just find its way down. Doesn't seem like that was strong of a day. Seems pretty low conviction today. And again, I remember saying that about some other days and piecing out, and then it turned into an incredible day. So, yeah, I'll just let this guy play out.
Stop filled.
It's blasting up. Blasting up pretty strong now. Okay. Yeah, glad I got out of that. It's going cray-cray. We might actually get it close to the top side, and we might end up having to... It's kind of at the bottom of this range, so we might actually get a close up and then a pullback. So at $2. Okay. strong move. I'm just waiting to see if this bar closes. I also think, do I want waffles today for breakfast, or do I want avocado toast or hash browns? So many amazing options. I will say, this rangy behavior is so fucking hard for my system to handle. Like if I held on to all these trades trying to take this dragon dive, I would have been cremated. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I don't know how to describe it, but when you look at the charts for hours and hours and hours and years and days and weeks and months and just a long time of just staring at this stuff happen over and over and over, you develop intuition, and intuition is the gold. With intuition, that can keep you out of days that aren't, aren't as fruitful. For example, I know Fridays tend to be a little bit on the slower side. We're in a slow, rangy, choppy area here. We had a bit of a move down, but it feels like it bottomed out here. And so I don't feel a strong, and then it's been pushing up hard, and we've seen it consistent in its push-ups, but it's been back and forth. And so using all that information combined is how I feel like, I don't think my odds of success with the Dragon Dive are really high right now. As opposed to sometimes when I've seen that Dragon Dive, there's been a clear move progression down. It's not like it's bottomed out. It's more clear. We're not in a crazy range, and it's not Friday, and it's some other day. And it just feels a lot more in sync. And it should be smooth too. So what happens is you get into these things, and if it's wiggling around a lot, it might not be it. And even still, here it started to come down. I was like, I still don't feel like that's, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta feel it. Not that that's always correct. My feelings can be wrong too. But if your feelings are just minimizing your risk down, that can be a good thing. And then when things line up really easily, it happens, you get in, everything works. And so you bank profit on the easy days. And in the days where it's kind of like mixed, if your intuition is keeping you out of those and you bank the easy days, hey, that sounds like a decent income, right? So we haven't closed bar, but we're pretty deep on this thing. But we're at the top of this range here, which is interesting, right? And we just overbought. So riding the top of this range might be pretty interesting. I was talking so much. This is a pretty strong move up. And it's gone up higher and then it's broken higher. So we do have a trend up per se. That's why I'm like, I don't know if this is necessarily the way I want to participate in the market. When it's starting to trend up like that, let's see. We are, though, at the top of this range here, which is solid. So if you can see, yeah, we have this kind of ranging activity here, which is solid. Oh.
Order filled.
Am I in 2? I think I'm in 2 contracts. How did that? Oh, shit. And this thing is pushing higher. We need this thing to come down. Come down, come down. No. Oh, shit. This could be bad. See if we can pull one off.
Order filled.
Okay, I got one off. I don't know how that happened. That was interesting. It's been kind of a weird day. You know what? I'm just going to feel like just putting that there. Whoa, okay. Nice. Okay. I see you. Let's see where we're at.
Stop filled.
Am I long now? Oh my God, what the fuck?
Order filled.
Okay, this is weird. What a weird day. I don't even know what's going on anymore. How did I get in? What the heck's going on? I put an order to exit, and then because my stop was too. Oh my gosh, dude, this is so weird right now. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, it's been this weird, and it's like holding pretty strong in the top here, so I'm just kind of like, I'm just not feeling this dragon dive. So I think I'm going to just pass on any kind of dragon dive moves. Okay. It's been a super funky. It's so funky and weird right now. It's really hard to get a gauge of what's going on. And that's usually when you want to not take your, especially since I have a very directional. My system is really based on like it's moving in a direction, pulling back, going forward. That's like 3 of my setups. The other 2, it's been going in a certain direction overnight. It's going to keep going in that direction. It's like, that's not what's happening here at all. None of that's happening here. And then the other one, I think honestly the best trade so far was the pump day. That was the best day this week. It pumped, shot the other way, came back, pulled back, had a nice pullback, and kept going for a bit. That was just a textbook kind of trade. That was awesome. Okay, check it out. We just made a new bar. We had this slow grind up, so we'll see if we get any pullbacks. Looks like it's pressing in to break through this range, which is cool. Broke through that guy. We got this guy. It's about to test, maybe, probably. 54. So, all right, so let's get rid of this guy, and then we'll put this 54.2. Cool. Yeah, these sideways days are brutal. Well, not sideways days, but more like sideways market. It's where, when it's a sideways market, the way this system works is there's got to be a strong push in a certain direction like this, right? And so when it strongly pushes here, and then it doesn't go anywhere, and then it strongly pushes here, you know what I mean? And then they're like all this back and forth. It becomes, or if it just takes off without a pullback. Those are the 2 things that this system fails on, is if it starts swinging sideways. It's not a rangy system, and it's also not a system that captures speed markets where it just takes off and without a pullback. It takes advantage of when the market is moving in a certain direction, but it has really nice, deep, delicious pullbacks. Like if this developed a strong move up, and then it took a nice, deep pullback to set up for the next push up, that's what we want to get. Man, it's been a funny week, but it's kind of interesting, humorous. We're moving closer and closer, like the veil is thinning at this time of year. And this is like around Halloween and Day of the Dead. That's when the veil between the spirit world and the material world thins, and things become a little bit more phantasmic or ephemeral. Connection with spirit. So spirit trade is on fleek right now. Oh my God. It's just funny because October is this lit freaking month, right? We had all this happen in most of October through, like, I guess 2/3 of October was this. And then we get this week in October and it's just like, no! Because October is the most volatile month historically. And this has continued to add to that. But, oh man, now it's moving up through the range. So it's interesting. It'll be so interesting to see what transpires here. Will it continue to just sit in this range this week? And we'll just finish in here, which is, in all honesty, that's the most likely scenario, is that it probably will pull back. We'll just dig around in here. We might get some magic moment of it breaking out, but that, I think the odds of that are a little bit low. But you never know. This can continue to keep building steam and turn into an epic trend day. We just got to hope that it gives us a pullback to enter in on it. I think that's the interesting thing about Dragon Dives is, or not the, well, Dragon Dive, okay, Dragon Dive, all these, the Hyper Jump and the Lahaina one, a lot of them, they start with a strong move in a certain direction, like this guy down or this guy up, right? But the pullback, so when you get in, you're getting in on the pullback, right? And the pullback has to be in line with that that move down, right? And so when it bottoms out here and double bottoms and shoots up, that looks like more like it's breaking form, especially when it breaks up through here, right? Now that I think about it, I was trying to do that, but when you look at the way this is moving, this is building a whole new move up, right? This is breaking a lot of the form of what was being created moving down. So that's another interesting element to all of this is when we look, let's see here. So, for example, right, when we see this move here and this thing is shooting down, it's breaking this form, right? And so we don't want to be taking Dragon Dives against this because it's breaking form and it's creating a new form to the downside. So we want to let it do that. And then when it creates this bar down in this direction, it starts moving in this direction. We get a very strong conviction down, and then it bottoms out here and then shoots up, right? And that feels like a shift in form, right? Because it's shooting hard here, bottoming out here. It's creating a inverted head and shoulders here. And that's cool. You can actually see it with the SMA. That's pretty dope. I had no idea the SMA would have that kind of utility. Never thought about that. That's cool. Yeah, you got that inverted head and shoulders there, which wouldn't be as easy as a spot without it. And then we see it move up here, right? So that's a break in form. And then it creates a new bar up. So then when it comes up here, again, it comes down pretty low here. And we had this strong move here, and this was like a spiky move here. So this is breaking form too. So you don't want to be jumping in on that either. And then it comes through here, and it forms a new bar down here. At this point, right? I mean, at that point, fuck that day. But the day before that, though, right? So we had this spike, we had this pump, and the pump is a very unnatural move, right? It looks very out of place, right? You see this weird-ass spike, and you get in on that, right? And it forms a new bar up here, and it pulls back. This is a nice spot because it's shotting up, formed a new bar, pulled back. We get this nice pullback here, right? Kind of at the bottom of this range here, right? Testing this range, testing this extreme. It pops up here. This is a nice little like setup doodad here that's why this all set up so beautifully. And then we beautifully would exit at noon. Like, look how perfect that is. Such a role model. And then we had this wacky day, right? We had this dragon dive down, which, in all honesty, wasn't too bad of a move, right? I mean, it was kind of sideways. And then it just gets stopped here, right? So it just doesn't really work out. But here, later in the day, we did get this move up, and it pulled back. And that's actually a decent, solid press up. But then, exiting at noon, that's not much of a move. But yeah, that's nice. It shoots up and pulls back. You get like a clean move up. It doesn't spend too much time up here. It pulls back. It spends some time sitting down here. That's pretty nice, right? And then it does another push up. Here was an interesting day. We had this big move up overnight, leading into the push higher, and then it collapses, right? And then we get this move down, right? And then we're continuing to try and capture this stuff, right? But what's interesting is all this stuff is kind of out of form, right? But maybe something around, let's see, there was something around here, whatnot. But it keeps going up. What's interesting is it kind of topped out up here, close to this extreme, really gradually. So it's showing a lot of weakness here, and that bar was still down, so that's why this one succeeded really well. But this was hard. This was tricky. But this is a nice role model day. Definitely this day is a good role model. Definitely. Wow, so yeah, we're getting a good move up. Well, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this day turns out. If it's going to stick to the range that was created at the beginning of the week on Monday, and will Friday be the rebel day that busts this thing loose, or will it continue to follow the rules that it's created for itself? It's approaching it pretty quick. I mean, this is a tight fucking range. This is only like 15 points. That is super tight. For a week? 15-point range on a week? Jeez, that's like a tight day. Like 15 points on a day is tight. 15 points on a week is crazy. So crazy. Like, let's look at the range of the previous week from 14 to 18. It's from like 1,500 to 45 points. Triple the range. Triple range. And let's look at the week before that. 7 to 11 was 1510 to 62. So that's 40. That's like 40. That's 45, almost 50 points. Again, almost 50 points of range. And then the week before that, 30 to 4. Went from 45 all the way down to, 45 to like 60. So that's like over 85 point range. That was massive. And then the week before that, 23 to 27. $71 all the way down to 16. Jesus. That's 55 points. Fuck. So, yeah, in that kind of market, 55-point week, 85-point week, 45-point week, those weeks, my system went ape shit, and I wish I had fucking. It's okay though. There will be more weeks. Like there will be plenty more weeks like that. And then, dude, yeah, Jesus, look at this market. It's a beast. The week before that, 16 to 20 was 96. To 51. So that's like 45 points. 9 to 13. $97 to that was like 90-point week. Jesus. The week before that, 2 to 6. and this was a holiday week, 67 to 27. That's 60-point week. Jesus. And that was 4 days. That was a holiday week. And then 26 to 30, 42. So this was a 70-point week. Jesus. So we've had a lot of range on our weeks, a lot of motion. And now we've had this 50, 70, 60, 50, 45, 80, 90-point week, right? And now it's like 15. No wonder I've had such a hard time this week. I'm just like struggling here. This is like been putting me through the ringer every day. It's been making me question my system a lot. I'm just like, is this for real? Like, is this system still good? Right? But I'm just going to say, you know what? When there's a lot of back and forth like this, the system just can't hang. But it's still hanging in there. Because we had even just one, that's what it is. You have all these shitty days, but then you have one day in that week where things line up enough for you to give you some, at least something decent that covers the whole week, basically. You know, you make like 600 on that one day, and maybe a couple hundred on Monday, and then the rest of the days were crap, and that was able to keep the week afloat, which is an amazing testament to the system. A lot of it, though, is also me just having the intuition to be very gentle and not as when you feel like you're in like a lower, because you can see this like forming and stuff, and as long as it's staying in this range, you know to be conservative. Once it breaks out, then you can resume how you normally trade. But this is the week to either not trade, stay out, just watch, do something else, take it easy. Be very conservative and just take setups when they look really freaking on point, like with Wednesday. Yeah. And that's it. All right, I am going to close up the stream. Have an incredible weekend. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you on Monday. Peace.